what's up, guys? Let me fix that. Might be too loud. What's up? Good evening. Well, actually, afternoon or morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome. I wanted to talk about this crazy story. People have been asking me for the last couple of days, and I just never got around to covering it. And last night, I believe this guy was arrested, or yesterday, this guy was arrested. Crazy. Look at the look in this guy. What the double homicide, Arkansas murderer? It's a weird story because I guess they're saying that police have said it's random. The couple and their kids were going for a hike on July 26th. Let me show you a picture of the couple. We're going to play the video of the press conference for those that haven't watched or know the story, but I'm sure there's a lot of people maybe that do know the story. I've been hearing little bits and pieces, but I didn't really know what it was about. I heard about the double homicide. This couple was murdered in front of their kids, brutally, horrendous. July 26, 2025. On a Saturday, Clinton David Brink, 43, and Cristen Amanda, 41. Cristen Amanda Brink fatally attacked while hiking with their 7 and 9-year-old daughters at a Devil's Den State Park in Northwest Arkansas. The girls escaped, and there was a massive manhunt. They were looking for this guy. This picture is crazy. This guy here, apparently, so he got caught. Oh, they say July 30th, yesterday, and his name is Andrew James McGann, and they literally caught him mid haircut. This guy was getting a haircut, and they caught his ass. And he was caught at this place called Lupita's Beauty Salon. It's a salon and a barber shop, apparently, or something like that. And mid haircut. And the strange thing and crazy thing to me about the story, too, I mean, obviously that they were murdered horrendously, but the couple, I think, and this guy had moved to the area recently. So the Brinks family had moved there less than 2 weeks before the murders from South Dakota to Prairie Grove, Arkansas, seeking a fresh start, new opportunities. Isn't that crazy? Like moving to a new area for opportunities, better life, whatever, and you get murdered. I can't imagine the trauma that these kids are going to have at that age too, knowing what's going on, understanding what happened. So Clinton, the family, the husband, he was set to begin working at a Highland Dairy, and Cristen was a licensed nurse and had secured licensure in multiple states. Wow. And Andrew James McGann, I believe he's 28 years old, formerly a teacher, joined Springdale Public Schools as a teacher candidate, but had not started working yet with students or families. His mugshot captured him scowling, disheveled, and what looks like a butcher-style haircut. Wow. And so this guy, he had come from, let's see, the Brinks had recently moved there. This guy moved to the area too, I believe. Let's see, Andrew. And the other weird thing is that he had been at multiple schools previously. So he did recently move to Arkansas. He relocated from Oklahoma to Springdale in Northwest Arkansas. How crazy is that? That the couple and this killer had moved there somewhat recently. He passed all the background checks but had not started working yet or interacted with families. Wow. Uh, 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 uh. So, Frozen made this post on Twitter. Got a mid haircut. Been an elementary teacher in 3 states, 3 schools in 3 years. Accusations of improper acts are surfacing. Law enforcement said the parents died protecting their children. Abduction. So that was some of the theory, because there's no motive yet that I've seen. They haven't said any motive. They're saying supposedly it was random. Some people suspect maybe this guy was there to abduct the kids or look for somebody to abduct the child. Andrew almost certainly went to Devil's Den to commit an abduction and thwarted by 2 brave parents. His work history shows him jumping around from school to school, which is a major sign. This account says it all and tells us what his motive likely was. It wasn't to kill random strangers. It was to abduct a young female. Andrew was Jax's 4th grade teacher when he was a student at Donald Elementary. Him and several classmates noticed inappropriate behavior from him towards several little girls in the class. It was reported to the principal, Heather Shorter. At the time, he was allowed to resign without any consequence, and even went on to continue teaching in another district. Finding out he went on to kill a couple in front of their 2 little girls is horrifying. It's called passing the trash. You know, hospitals would do that too. I don't know if they still do that, but back in the day, like some of these killers, there was a killer nurse. I forgot her name, but she kept kind of being passed around. They didn't want the name to be associated with the hospital, and they just kind of wanted her gone and brushed under the rug. And so I remember that would happen. I've heard of stories like that in the medical field, even doctors and stuff. So I'm not surprised that this could be a thing with schools as well. Melissa here said it's called passing the trash. Happens way too often. Districts don't want accusations tainting their reputation. That's what it is. So they request a resignation and don't follow through on a mandate reporting. I wanted to play this audio too, because this article has so I think this is like some dispatch audio when the bodies were found, and then I'm gonna play a video and do a press conference, a little recapping.
Do we need to sweep the closer trails or just stay on the main trail?
Cover the main trail right now first.
Oh.
Copy that.
How?
Sweep the main trail first right now.
Main trail? Like icebox, hiking down. For help.
Copy that. Say again. Repeat.
Here, yell, calling for help. We're hiking down.
Try to relay to the office. So we found the victims down here. They're on the lower Devil's Den Trail. Just a couple minutes. I think I see you right there. I've got 2.
Somebody had said, I just saw this in the chat. This is something I wanted to bring up too. Cops too. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That is true. Cops with like bad behaviors and stuff. The mother told them, run and don't look back. What I had read, and I read it somewhere, the husband was being attacked first. And the mother, I thought she told the kids to run, or she ran with the kids or something, and then she went back to help her husband, and she got killed. I thought that was like what they were saying happened, but
counts of capital murder in this weekend's double homicide in Devil's Den State Park. State police have just announced the arrest of this man, 28-year-old James Andrew McGann of Springdale. He is charged in the killings of Clinton and Cristen Brink, who were stabbed to death in front of their 9- and 7-year-old daughters Saturday as the family hiked through the park. McGann was arrested by state police just before 5 o'clock this afternoon at a hair salon in Springdale. Governor Sanders joined State Police Colonel Mike Hager to announce the arrest during a news conference in Lowell that you saw here on Channel 7. Take a listen.
You commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice, because that's what the people of Arkansas frankly deserve. That's what they've asked for, and that's what this team has been able to deliver this week.
The collaboration between state police and other local law enforcement agencies, our federal partners, has been second to none. I also want to thank our media partners for helping us distribute important information during these past few days. Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Cristen's precious girls. And to the rest of citizens of Arkansas.
Well, an emotional moment for Colonel Mike Hager of Arkansas State Police as they announce that arrest tonight. Channel 7's Daniela DeHogany joins us now. You were working Saturday when this crime happened. You've been up to Devil's Den State Park. Walk us back through what's happened the last couple of days.
Sure, Chris. Well, it all started as a simple family hike at Devil's Den State Park, but by the end of that trail, Clinton and Cristen Brink were dead, their 2 daughters left behind. Here's a look at how the investigation unfolded from the moment the tragedy happened to the arrest just made today. Saturday, July the 27th, Clinton and Cristen Brink of...
And check this out. There's this reporter that just posted this now. This is new information. Well, kind of new because we haven't heard about this. Let me zoom it in. I spoke to the mother, a former student of the suspected murderer accused of killing a couple. James worked in Texas for Louisville ISD as an elementary school teacher in 2023. A mother of one of his former 4th grade students said her son came home complaining that McGann was inappropriate with the girl students, so she filed a complaint with the superintendent. As a result, parents received a letter from the district that he was placed on administrative leave, while the school investigated complaints of poor classroom management and poor professional judgment. The investigation found no evidence of inappropriate behavior with the student, but did find classroom management and professional judgment to be below the district expectations, according to the letter. Shortly after, McGann resigned, and then he worked as an elementary school teacher in Oklahoma until he resigned in May to move to Arkansas, where he was set to become a teacher. Maybe he's always had some type of affinity for little girls, you know? That's crazy, 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 man. Look at this guy. Holy moly. Jeez. This guy was a teacher? How? Damn. Oh, they're holding a press conference today? But didn't they they did one last night. They're going to do another one today. We'll have to look into that to see if there's something else happening today.
Prairie Grove were hiking with their 2 young daughters when they were brutally attacked and killed. The children survived. Now on Sunday, state police identified the couple and confirmed the case as was being investigated as a double homicide. Monday, authorities released a suspect sketch. Tuesday, authorities released surveillance images from the park of the suspect. And Wednesday, 28-year-old James McGann of Springdale was arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He was taken into custody without incident. The Brink's family says Clinton and Cristen Brink died protecting their girls, and they want justice. Now, some additional info tonight, Chris. There was video from Lupita's salon and a Facebook video posted by Adriana. Let's take a look at that real quick. It was posted on her Facebook page. She was apparently in the process of cutting McGann's hair. She saved the pieces of hair from him, gave it to authorities. They're picking it up right there. Now, outside.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. So this was the video from outside. This is what we believe was the car that was widely reported in the aftermath of this killing. Investigators said that a car was spotted leaving Devil's Den State Park, a black Mazda with tape over its license plate, and we believe this may be that suspect car, Danielle.
We believe that is the one, the 4-door Mazda black, as you can see right out there. Now, we also do believe that he was about to start a school year at a school. We don't know which school yet. He is from Oklahoma, just moved here recently.
McGann. Okay, you spent yesterday...
I wonder if this guy's been like fantasizing for a long time, you know, because some of these creeps still put themselves in positions to be around children. And so I wonder if he's always had some type of fantasy or something, and he finally, I don't know, moved to a new area. He must have been having problems at those different schools that maybe were being brushed under the rug. You know, oh, okay, to just resign. You know, we don't have to deal with the backlash. Resign, you're below our standards. You know, you'd be surprised, man, sometimes what could be happening in these schools and they don't report it through the appropriate channels. I saw a lot of people are homeschooling. Yeah, I saw somebody mention homeschool. It's crazy. I don't know how somebody like that doesn't raise red flags. I mean, does he have a regular face? Because he looks crazy as shit. Like, damn. They let him be around kids? And the other thing also is I haven't seen a method of how he killed him. I don't know if anybody's seen or heard. I haven't heard any weapon being mentioned.
Up in the Devil's Den State Park area and into Fayetteville. This is a very popular spot for people in that part of our state, a beautiful state park. What was the feeling among people up there as long as they knew that a killer was still on the loose?
Well, Chris, I have hiked that park myself several times, more than I can count. And it was packed with people when I used to go hiking there. It was packed on the weekends. It was when the weather was good. Yesterday, when we were there, empty. You could hear all the birds chirping. You could hear crickets. You could hear the water rushing. Silent. Radio silent. No one was on the trails. The trails are cut off to the public as of right now. I believe they're still going to be cut off for a limited time. But quiet. And when we went up to the campus, talked to some students that frequently hike there as well, they're scared. They're scared to go there. Their parents warning them, please don't go out there until it's safe.
Well, they'll feel a lot better tonight knowing that an arrest has been made again.
I don't think they've mentioned officially what kind of weapon, but I don't know why I was thinking stab the whole time, too.
28-year-old James Andrew McGann under arrest in the Devil's Den killing. During that news conference tonight, investigators really declined to talk about the details of what may have happened in the park, what may have motivated this crime. We do know, though, Daniela, that it happened in front of the little girls that belonged to the Brinks, 9 and 7 years old, but they managed to escape unharmed.
They managed to escape. Now, what we know is that Cristen apparently saw her husband being attacked, took the girls to a car, had them safe there, went back to help her husband. Then she herself was also murdered. And
then it was the girls who went for help, and they came back and found those bodies. Again, we're looking forward to hearing more details about exactly.
So there is going to be a press conference today, apparently. So we can tune into that. It's going to be later, though. It's set for 2 p.m. local Arkansas time. What time zone is Arkansas? East Coast? It's considered part of... Oh, it might be Central? Yeah, it's really sad, you know. It's really sad that oh, they're Central Time, I guess. Okay, so an hour behind. So I think there's gonna be something at 2. So we'll check in and cover that later, I guess. Maybe on the second page. Depends on what's happening. The press conference today, I wonder if they'll release more details about this. It's so crazy how they're saying, you know, this is just random. I think he was just looking for, I guess, an opportunity. Like they were saying, I guess, that there's no connection. Like he didn't know them prior.
For more on this is Chris Swecker. He is former assistant FBI assistant director. Chris, thanks for coming on. I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances. This is day 3 of the manhunt. He left the park. The license plates were covered. How do you even go about finding that vehicle now?
Yeah, you can assume that he's either ditched the license plate and or the car.
So Travis Decker's still on the run, right? They haven't caught his ass. You guys think he's alive? The guy that murdered his 3 kids? They still haven't caught his ass. I wonder if that guy's still alive. And then this morning it popped in my head. I was thinking about the Louisiana situation. The one inmate that was left. Did he catch him yet? I don't think they caught him, right? And then they released some guy by accident. I don't know if he's a killer, some dangerous person. They released somebody by accident, the wrong person.
And, you know, there was no real-time chase. They were probably several hours behind him, because I think it took the children a good while to make their way back to the visitor center. So he has got a very, very long head start. So this is challenging, and I think that's why you see the Arkansas State Police being so proactive in going out to the public with their description of the car. All the little details are out there now. Those are the only details we're getting. We don't have much details about the actual crime scene, but clearly they are being very active out there and trying to get the help of the American public.
Chris, given the remote location and how the suspect escaped, does this seem random or targeted to you?
It seems, this is not the first time that something like this has happened in a state or a federal park, national park. But this one does seem random, and all of the others that we've seen in other parks were indeed random. But unfortunately, the remote nature of these types of parks make it perfect for predators.
Well, that's the thing too. I was reading in another article that I don't think they have signal out there either in this park. I don't think there's signal.
Like this person here, this murderer here, who can patrol, and sort of troll at will, and choose his victims, and go into action. It's a clinical way of describing it, but unfortunately, the national parks are places where killers like this can hunt.
With your experience in the FBI, what stands out to you about this crime from a behavioral or investigative perspective?
What stands out is that there were two children there, that he chose victims with two children. And that seems so incredibly impulsive. If he was going through the park looking for victims, you would think he would choose a lone person or a couple without children who could either you have to deal with as witnesses, or understand that they're going to get back somewhere and report the crimes. But I think
they're saying here too, they think he was a third grade teacher at Bayari Elementary in Springdale. Okay. I guess it's like his normal face. That's crazy. Yeah, you gotta be like some type of cold, evil person, no feelings, on a mission maybe to kill in front of these kids like that.
he was more interested in getting out of there quickly and not wasting any time. He put tape over his license plate, so he clearly had presence of mind. Maybe he did that ahead of time. And the description of the car, we don't have the tag itself. All we have is a description of the car. So there's some calculating maneuvers here and some evidence of pre-planning.
This is just so tragic. Local police are, like you mentioned, asking the public for help in finding any images, video, information about the suspect with limited surveillance, because this being a state park. How do you narrow a suspect profile?
Yeah, I mean, the calls for video is pretty random because it's so remote out there. You deal with this by tracing the routes that they think he left. There's only a certain couple of entrances and exits, and then track to where the first camera location is, because there are cameras everywhere, at gas stations, at businesses along the way. There are ring videos, there's cars, there's residences. You really got to get out there and do the gumshoe work and do the neighborhood investigations, trying to get some video to see if you can get a better description of the car and the killer.
Chris, how critical is time when it comes to tracking down a murderer like this?
Yeah, I mean, they always say the first 24 hours are critical.
Imagine he's tied to other, I don't know. Imagine he's tied to other crimes or murder. Damn, former teacher. Guess he was hoping he'd get away with it. Obviously, I guess thought he was going to get away. Maybe he wasn't expecting him to fight back like that. Oh, couple received death stare from suspect in Devil's Den killings. Man.
So I want to bring in Tony Bruschi, host of the Hidden Killers podcast, who's based in Arkansas and who's been on this story from the start. Thank you so much for being with us, Tony. A devastating story. You spoke with a couple that may have seen the suspect. I mean, what did they have to say? And when you first heard about it, your reaction?
They said they are 100% sure that this was the suspect that they saw on the trail. That's what they left us with. But what they brought in was a story much like many others that day, out on a beautiful summer day near 100 degrees in Arkansas, heat index of 104 that afternoon. And they were out walking. The couple was together with a brother and sister and a pet dog. And down the trail, they saw a man coming their way, and they immediately found him to be odd. He was by himself, but the way he was dressed in full black attire from top to bottom and on a mission, it seemed, wearing a large mesh backpack that was very out of place, as you see in the graphic that's on the screen right now. They didn't know what was going on, but as he approached, they described it as a death stare that they got as he looked at them all up and down. And they all had very visceral reactions, describing it very much as bad energy coming off of this guy. And they didn't know much else until the very next day when they heard about it on the news, and they all looked at each other and said, that was the guy that passed us. And when the sketch came out today, which actually was based on their observations that they gave to us here at the Hidden Killers podcast, they thought that composite was very, very accurate to what they saw.
Wow. I mean, talk about trusting your gut, right? I mean, so many of us go hiking on the regular, and it's, you know, but when you're out there and you get out in the woods, you do sometimes have that sense of, man, I mean, there's places on hiking trails where nobody could hear you scream.
Yeah, that is a really creepy, eerie feeling when you're out in certain places and there's nobody around, or at least you think there's nobody around. And to the point where if you were to scream, I've been in a couple places like that, like out in the woods, that way if you were to scream, nobody would hear you. You know? So he walked past some other couple that day, they're saying, and he looking like a weirdo. He stands out. Dark energy, dark vibe.
Story much like many others that day, out on a beautiful summer day near 100 degrees in Arkansas, heat index of 104 that afternoon. And they were out walking. The couple.
Shit, might have been a couple too, Lord. No, I'm just kidding.
Was together with a brother and sister and a pet dog. And down the trail, they saw a man coming their way, and they immediately found him to be odd. He was by him.
I wonder what made him. Oh, maybe because they didn't have kids, right? What did they say? A brother and a sister and a dog? Maybe because he was looking for somebody with kids.
Down the trail, they saw a man coming their way, and they immediately found him to be odd. He was by himself, but the way he was dressed in full black attire from top to bottom and on a mission, it seemed, wearing a large mesh backpack that was very out of place, as you see in the graphic that's on the screen right now. They didn't know what was going on, but as he approached, they described it as a death stare that they got as he looked at them all up and down. And they all had very visceral reactions, describing it very much as bad energy coming off of this guy. And they didn't know much else until the very next day when they heard about it on the news, and they all looked at each other and said, that was the guy that passed us. And when the sketch came out today, which actually was based on their observations that they gave to us here at the Hidden Killers podcast, they thought that composite was very, very accurate to what they saw.
Wow.
That's the other thing too about hiking. It's like, I like hikes. I don't go often. I should. Well, I don't know now, but I should go. There's some places that are very like not remote around here that you can go. For the most part, it's safe, but there is times where there's just nobody, you know. But I sometimes like to put on my headphones, you know, and that's kind of dangerous because you can't. If somebody's trying to creep up on you or run up on you or anything, you know, that takes away your awareness and your sense of hearing. I'm going to do a side by side.
I mean, talk about trusting your gut, right? I mean, so many of us go hiking on the regular and it's, you know, but when you're out there and you get out in the woods, you do sometimes have that sense of, man, I mean, there's places on hiking trails where nobody could hear you scream. Tell us a little bit about where this hiking trail is. You're from Arkansas, you're there now. Is this a safe area? Do a lot of people go there?
It is. It's just outside this.
I thought about that, Ashley. Thank you for the 5. When they put this picture out, it made me think of the Delphi Kiss too.
City of Fayetteville and also Bentonville and Rogers. It's otherwise known as the NWA area, Northwest Arkansas. Walmart is headquartered here. So it is a very safe area. It has a very stable and good economy and very low crime. It's not what you think of when you think of Arkansas, I guess, a stereotypical version. It's more of a Colorado type hiking area. Outdoors is what they do here. We have one of the largest biking trail paths in the country. I think it actually might be the largest, interconnecting all of these cities. And people use these things every single day without incident.
It sounds like whoever the suspect is knew the area well. And I understand that you have obtained some security footage of what may be the suspect's car. We want to show that to our viewers because, of course, any clue can help. Tell us about what we're watching on our screen right now.
This is some footage that we obtained here. This is a security camera off of a home very near where the park entrance is. This is the vehicle heading north on Highway 170, about 2 miles north of the Yellow Rock exit. It was described, and this is the words of the man who shot it. And he's also what you would call a car guy. So he got into it with me. We got about a 10-minute conversation on our podcast. Black 4-door sedan, quad exhaust tips, 2 on each side, matte or semi-gloss black paint, tinted windows, black rims, small spoiler, sleek spoiler luxury design, no visible license plate, completely taped over. He said it sounded like an active exhaust, probably going 60 to 70 miles an hour. He, unlike what the police have put out right now, he disagrees. He's not sure if it's a Mazda. He said it could be, but in his opinion, it might not be. He thought it was more of an Audi Acura TLX, possibly a Mercedes. We've seen a lot of other chatter on that now that we've released that video as well. Lots of people chiming in and giving their thoughts on that, and several even using AI to try and get identification.
Thank you for watching.
And so there was this lady that Adriana, I guess this is... She says, so I'm cutting a guy's hair and I'm shaking now because there's cops and detectives. I told them I haven't swept up the hair in case they needed it. And they said they did. Y'all, I'm shaking mostly because it's starting to look like it could be the man they're looking for, but not sure yet. Update. It was possibly him. Yeah, I could have possibly cut the Devil's Den killer's hair. He left effed up, though. I barely started to fade. Damn. Wow. What a messed up story, man. I feel really bad for those kids to have to witness that, like that, to see your mother and father murdered like that. I mean, I just can't imagine the life, like the trauma that it could cause for the rest of your life, you know? Horrible. This case is being talked about a lot. He was getting a little haircut. I guess he was trying to change his appearance. The way he looks, yeah, he stands out, man. You walk into any kind of store or whatever, somebody's going to call the cops. Jeez. Let me see. I don't know if we really need to play the press conference. Maybe we'll skim it a little bit. Well, it's not that long.
Mike Hager, so let's.
We are like a lot of people probably saw this already.
West Arkansas, a community that has been absolutely heartbroken over the course of the almost last week. Our entire state is grieving for the tragic loss and senseless and horrific crime that's taken place in this area. One of the worst experiences that certainly I've ever had was making a phone call to the Brink family earlier this week. Nothing like that should ever take place. And for a family to have to go through and deal with that level of tragedy.
It's horrible. Gerald just posted a picture of this guy. Oh my gosh. How the F was this cycle ever be a teacher? Damn, imagine you walk into your kid's classroom and this is your kid's teacher. That shit might make you want to homeschool your kid right then and there. This is your teacher. So I guess he must have not had this face all the time. I'm sure maybe he would force a smile or something. I don't know. Jeez. There was an event too this morning, in case you guys didn't see. There was a guy with a fake gun at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, but it was a fake gun. He was apprehended. I don't think anybody was hurt.
Building 63. Have been contact. Yeah. Come on in here, Madeline. This is the lock.
Yeah, somebody was in that medical center with a fake gun. But yeah, this is crazy. This is I mean, Brooks says the family just moved here, had their power turned on the 16th. Wow, of July. Yeah, I think like 2 weeks. Yeah. That's crazy. And this guy moved there recently too, the killer. And things happen in life. It's just so crazy. Like, what are the chances I decide to move to a new place and that leads you to down this path? And this guy decides to move to a new place and leads down this path.
A violent, senseless act here in our state. Our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice, because that's what the people of Arkansas frankly deserve. That's what they've asked for, and that's what this team has been able to deliver this week, and we're very grateful for their work. I want to finish by saying that I ask all Arkansans to join me in lifting the Brink family and their two precious daughters up in prayer, and to continue after these next few days to continue to pray for them, because it's a long road ahead and the grieving process has just begun. And I hope that our entire state will wrap their arms around this family and comfort them in a way that no other place can other than Arkansas. Thank you again for all of the efforts of those who are standing here with me tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over to Colonel Mike Hager, the head of State Police.
Really taking time to eat. I cannot express the gratitude I have for the men and women. The collaboration between state police.
My name is Shay Lewis, Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, and Director of Arkansas State Parks. Our hearts are with the Brink family tonight, and as they navigate this unimaginable tragedy. We're deeply grateful, and on behalf of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, would like to thank the work and the men and women of the Arkansas State Police for their swift and tireless work to protect Arkansans and pursue justice for the victims and their loved ones. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the many partners who supported Arkansas State Parks during this time, especially the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, the local law enforcement agencies, all that provided additional law enforcement coverage within our state park system. I'm especially thankful for the dedicated response of our Arkansas State Park staff, including.
Okay.
They were notified just after we made the arrest. They were actually one of the first people that we went to notify, and as you can imagine, it opened up a whole different set of emotions for the Brink family. I'm sure that it was with a sense of relief, but also with a whole new emotion that they're going to have to deal with.
And then, of course, we'll ask all that to this and talk about the person arrested, what you can't say.
So while an arrest has been made, we are refraining from releasing much of the information that led to that arrest. We still have a lot of work to do in terms of, securing a conviction, because that's our next big focus right now. But we will release some details as they become available that we think are pertinent. The community deserves to know what happened and what led to that arrest, and we'll be happy to share that when.
So they're doing another press conference today. I think 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central.
Confirmed that that's where he was taken into custody today?
Yes.
So that was him?
Yes.
Do we have any sense of a motive, or do we feel this was random at this time?
We're not going to talk about his motive right now. We're still exploring and determining exactly what that motive was. So it'd be a little premature for us to speak on that tonight.
Anything on this gentleman's background here locally? We're getting word he might have been a youth teacher in the area. Is there anything of that sort that you can confirm for us tonight?
So what I'll say is he just recently moved here and had gotten a job to work at a local school here.
Do you know where he moved from?
I believe it was Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Are you able to share where he was arrested specifically?
It was the barber shop that this gentleman just mentioned.
Did the public play a role in this arrest, or I'm just wondering how this happened? Do you have investigators and the word out there? How did we get to here?
So I will say that the public was instrumental. When we pushed out the initial information, we were asking for any video. A lot of the video footage that we received was instrumental in helping us identify this particular subject.
A lot of that was looking for a description of a vehicle. We know the description of a vehicle was seized as being processed as evidence. The description seems to match up with what you recovered.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Can you talk about the calls, the tips? The state police had to be flooded with calls and how difficult it is to sort through those and vet through those and really get to the core of this investigation.
They just named the suspect in the quadruple homicide, Tennessee, the boyfriend of the grandmother. I haven't heard of that story yet. Let me look it up.
Tips were, I will say, overwhelming.
Oh, is that the one with in the basement? Is that hold on. Oh, man wanted in connection. Oh, you guys want to cover that now? Oh, I heard about this story. This is another one that I haven't just covered. I haven't covered this. That's the boyfriend's, the boyfriend of the grandmother. This is the one where all these people were found dead in the basement and the 2 kids were alive?
Once we set up a tip line, we were able to manage those quite well. But when we have to have that public assistance, and when we opened up that tip line, we were able to see what the public was interested in helping us, and it was overwhelming. We were getting them from Washington State, we were getting them from Illinois. They were coming in across the country, so they were instrumental.
When we think about what's going to happen next at Devil's Den, is there any sort of worry or concern that we might see a repeat, or we might see a decrease in the amount of people wanting to go to state parks at this point?
Do you want to answer that?
I don't know if we have a true indication of what the impact will be. I know it has greatly impacted this family with their loss, and as we kind of look forward to kind of navigate through this process and look at reopening trails and reopening other parts of the park, we're going to just kind of take our time in that. Right now they're going to remain closed. I want to make sure that the Brink family has time to grieve, go through this process, time for our staff to assess the situation, and then we'll reopen it at the appropriate time.
Take maybe 1 or 2 last questions.
We've asked for information, the overall assessment. Could that include possible changes, parks maybe surveillance cameras and stuff. It's sad that we need those, but one thing that we've been asked about.
Sure. Even over the last few years, we are constantly in a process of evaluating needs at our parks for safety and security, looking at technology as a tool, making sure our staff, our park rangers, our law enforcement officers are equipped with the tools and the training to be responsive to emergencies.
Let this be the last one here.
It's been, a 5-day ordeal, and information has been pretty scarce. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of the strategy behind that and why information was kind of hard to, or why you didn't want to share as part of the investigation?
Let's see.
Sometimes when we share information, it actually creates a lot of running down trails that we don't want to go down. It actually hinders the investigation. As some of y'all are likely aware, there was a podcast that really, what we feel hurt the investigation. The interviews that were done were spreading information that we were using to help locate, because the last thing we wanted to do was for him to be alerted that we were onto him, so to speak. And so that we try to give information that's going to help us identify this person, but we don't want to give anything that we don't want them to go underground. We don't want them to go into hiding. And so that's why we were very deliberate with the information and really on the timing that it was delivered. So that was kind of the strategy.
Thank you.
I'll just close out again by saying that.
Okay, so we're going to start a new stream. This is another story that I kept kind of hearing about, and I just, I didn't get a chance to cover. I didn't really know what was going on. And it's a weird one. And this guy's still on the run, I believe. He's still on the run. He hasn't been caught. Trying to throw something kind of quick together, like a thumbnail real quick. I don't know. And we're going to start it. 4 people murdered. I think the grandparents, the parents of the baby, and like the teen uncle or something. My gosh. What is going on? Let's save this. Okay. Just throw something together. We're going to jump to a new stream. People are crazy these days, man. People just killing just to kill. And what's the motive behind this one? What happened with this one? Why kill all these people? Baby was spared. I think a 7-month-old baby. This was Tennessee. Okay. I'm going to set it up now and transfer you guys. Maybe I should have done. I think the press conference will do it on the second page. The press conference for later. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the second page. Okay. Oop. We set up the transfer. Don't leave me. Do a little catch up today, I guess, with some of the stories that we've missed. It's been kind of crazy between the earthquake and the New York nut job that went into the office. All right, I'm going to transfer you guys right now. Anybody that's watching on any other feed, just stay there. We'll stay here together. But YouTube, I'm going to transfer.